Hey everybody, Jake here for American Trucks, and in this video we're taking a look at the Barricade 3.5-inch oval bull bar in black with skid plate fitting 2019 and newer Ram 1500s, excluding the Rebel and TRX models. Now this is going to appeal to the Ram owner who wants more style and protection for the front end of their truck. It's going to provide some additional coverage for not just your bumper, but underneath as well with an integrated skid plate. So this is going to give you a lot of aggressive style and protection for one of the best prices in the category. A bull bar is a great way to add a little extra something to the front end of your truck, and it's less intense than a full grille guard or an aftermarket bumper. And for street or lighter duty off-road use, this is a great choice that provides some additional flexibility and protection in a clean, stylish package. This one is going to line up really well with the front bumper of your Ram, and it comes up high enough that you'll even get some coverage for the lower part of the grille. And since this has a nice black finish over top, it's going to work well if you're chasing that blacked out look with your build, especially if your truck got the night package or one of the body colored grille and trim packages. This is a great way to get good looks and have it work well with the front end styling. But that's not the end of the story. Now, in addition to the bull bar itself, you've also got this skid plate down below. So this is going to extend underneath of your bumper a bit and provide it with some additional coverage for the lower bumper and the bull bar itself. So you could consider this a bit more extreme or intense as opposed to a standard bull bar, which would just be this hoop. And though it's not quite as overpowering as some of those can be, it strikes a good balance here. The rounded edges work really well with the front end styling, plus you've got the ability to mount additional lighting right here in the center should you need it for back roads, job site, or some treacherous trails. So not only does it look good, it's also multifunctional, and we love seeing something like that. The bull bar and skid plate are both constructed from stainless steel, and they're finished off with this nice gloss black powder coat. The bull bar itself is 3.5-inch diameter oval tubing, so safe to say this thing is pretty hefty, but it's also not that heavy. That powder coating also means this setup will be very resistant to rust and corrosion, so it should look good for a long time to come, and it's not going to add a ton of weight or bulk to the front end of your truck. Pricing will come in at just about $250 for this setup, making it one of the most affordable options in the category. However, you're still getting a quality setup here. The material is nice, the finish is nice, and I do think this looks pretty good on the front end of these trucks. Plus, the inclusion of a skid plate is cool to see here, especially at this price point. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and you can expect the job to take you about 1 hour to complete. This is a totally bolt-on part, and everything you need is included with the kit, meaning that you don't need to modify anything on your truck either, so it's something that you can easily accomplish at home. And to show you that process now, let's head on over to our install bay.
For this install, you need 3. It's ratchet and impact, a clip removal tool, an 18 swivel, a 13 and 10 millimeter socket, a 3/8 extension, an 18 and a 13 millimeter wrench, and a cutting tool. All right, today we're gonna be installing a bull bar onto our Ram. As you can see, we do have the vehicle in the air with the wheels off. Just to give you guys a better view, you can do this on the ground though with no problem. So let's get started. All right, now we're gonna start by taking our lower trim piece off. As you can see, we do have 2 push clips on the front, on the outside, and on the inside we have about 18 nuts that we have to take off on the top of the bumper that mount all the way across. So we're gonna start with our 2 push clips, grab our clip removal tool, all right, now we're gonna go on the inside and take our 10 millimeter nuts off. All right, now we're on the back side of the bumper here, and you will see a bunch of silver clips going all the way across. On top of them, there are 10 millimeter nuts holding them on. These are pretty hard to see where they are sitting. So we're just gonna grab our ratchet, 10 millimeter socket, and take all of those off. All right, now we can remove our plastic trim. All right, so now we need to take off 2 bolts. We are on the driver's side behind the front bumper here. We have a bolt here and a bolt here. We're gonna grab our impact and our 13mm socket and take those 2 out. All right, while we're here, we're gonna put our plate in with our stud. That's gonna go through this hole right here, up top. And we have our plastic retainer we can put on. All right, now we're gonna grab our impact and 18mm swivel socket. We're gonna loosen this bolt in the frame here. All right, now we can install our bracket into our vehicle. As you can see, for the driver's side, we have our tab going outside of the vehicle. We put that up over our stud. Then we have 2 of our longer bolts here with our lock washer and flat washer. And those are just gonna thread into where you took the 2 factory bolts out. I know it might be hard to see. All right, and then where we put that nut plate in, we're gonna do a flat washer, lock washer, and then 1 of our nuts. All right, then we can put our second bracket in. You'll see the notch here. It'll go over the bolt that we loosened. And then it'll match up to the other bracket here. We're gonna take 1 of our other bolts with the flat washer, put that through. And on the back side, we're gonna do a lock washer, flat washer, and then a nut. All right, now we're gonna tighten down our hardware. We're gonna grab our ratchet with a 13mm socket and a 13mm wrench and tighten them down. All right, now we're gonna grab our impact extension and our 18 swivel and tighten the bolt that we loosened. All right, now we're gonna take our ratchet with a 13mm socket and tighten our top 2. All right, now you gotta repeat those same steps on the passenger side. All right, now we have our bull bar here ready to go on. First, we just need to put on our brackets. We have our 2 brackets, they're identical. We're just gonna make sure that our flange that sticks out is on the inside. We're gonna grab our bolts with our lock washer and flat washer. We're just gonna thread them in for now, just so we have that adjustment. All right, now you repeat the same thing for the other side. All right, now we're gonna get our bull bar into position. If you need to, you can grab a friend to help you out. But we're just gonna get it up into place. And let it rest on our brackets there. We're gonna grab our bolts. We have a lock washer and a flat washer through the outside. On the inside, we're gonna do another flat washer and then our nut. Do the same thing over here. Just get 1 in and that should hold it in place. All right, flat washer and then nut on this side. And you can do the same thing with the last 2 bolts. All right, now we're gonna adjust it wherever it needs to go. It can go in and out, up and down. And then we're gonna tighten our 2 bolts here with our impact extension 18mm swivel, and then the 18mm wrench on the back side, and then our 2 13mm bolts here. So now that we got it in the position that we want, we're gonna tighten everything down. All right, now you gotta do the same thing for the other bracket. All right, in our case, we're not gonna be modifying the vehicle, but if you did want to reinstall the lower trim piece, you would just need to line it up, mark where on the trim piece where the bracket goes. It's not gonna go all the way to the front. Use something like a cutoff wheel or something else if you wanna make the cut a little bit cleaner. All right, and that wraps up our install of our Barricade 3.5-inch oval bull bar with skid plate, colored black for a 2019 and newer Ram 1500, excluding the Rebel and TRX. And remember, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.